What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for a review of the final playoff series. We reviewed the Stanley Cup final game by game, but now reviewing it as a whole, we can look back at it. And it's funny because last season in 2024, the series went 7 games, but most of the games were lopsided in that series. This series, a lot of the games were closer. They probably shouldn't have been, but they were closer. 3 overtime games in the series opposed to none in the last series. And while it only goes 6, the games overall, 3 of them are decided by 1 goal, of which I believe only 2 were in the last series in 2024 over the course of another extra game. So take what you will from that. Florida wins the series in 6, of course, and in Game 1, things looked different. Edmonton, they scored the first goal, but Florida goes up 3-1. Edmonton rolls back, they win it in overtime off Draisaitl. They're up 1-0 and have home ice, so things look different. Game 2, the deciding game in the series. Looking back at the series, that was the game that made all the difference in this series. 5-4 win, double overtime. Again, Florida's ahead. Corey Perry ties it up with the latest Stanley Cup final goal in history in a game. And Marchand gets the winner in double overtime off a pretty fluky goal, bad goal. And if Edmonton wins that game, there's a good chance we're either going A to Game 7 or B, Edmonton's won the Stanley Cup by now. Game 3, Florida comes home and asserts their dominance. They win 6-1. Game 4 in Florida, once again, Florida's up 3-0. Edmonton storms back. They take a 4-3 lead. Florida ties it late. But it's Draisaitl again in overtime. Series tied 2-2, 5-4 win for Edmonton. Game 5, with all the momentum on their side, Edmonton comes out completely flat, and they lose 5-2. And in Game 6 in Florida, that continues. It's a 5-1 win for Florida as they win the Stanley Cup, repeat as champions back-to-back. They outscore Edmonton 28-17 in this series. And right where that comes in, Game 3, 4, and 6. Game 3, 5, and 6. If you look at Game 1, 2, and 4, it looks like a completely different series if you look at Game 3, 5, and 6. Point scores. I took everyone that had more than 5 points in the series. Reinhart, 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points. Would not have been in this list. Well, actually, he would have probably... Yeah, he would have made the list. He would have been at the lower part of the list. But he had 4 goals in Game 6 to move him up to 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points in the series. Verhaeghe, 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points. He was setting up most of the goals in the series. Tkachuk kind of rebounded after a lackluster playoffs, although there were a lot of players. When we go more into the teams in the playoffs, we'll go over the champions, we'll go over the finalist teams like we do every year. We'll see that in the playoffs, Tkachuk flew under the radar, but he was still producing because this team is just so all-around good that everyone is producing at once. Marchand, 6 goals, no assists, 6 points. I'm not sure if I said Tkachuk. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Bennett, 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points. He's your Conn Smythe winner. Luosterainen, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points, as well as his Finnish twin, Lundell. 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. Luosterainen and Lundell, I just called them the Finnish twins because they're identical to me. Barkov, no goals, 5 assists, 5 points. And definitely not his twin, Nate Schmidt, 0 goals, 5 assists, 5 points. On the Edmonton side, you had 4 guys over 5 points. And that questions the depth once again. Draisaitl, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. McDavid, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. Bouchard, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. And Ekholm, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Goaltending, 2 completely different stories again. Bobrovsky, 4-2 with a .919 save percentage and a 2.45 goals against average. Skinner was 1-3 for Edmonton, .861 save percentage, 3.97 goals against average. Of course, he was horrible against LA, went 0-2 there. Once Pickard goes down, he does very well against Vegas. He does very well against Dallas. And then against Edmonton, he kind of comes out flat once again. Pickard, who only lost 1 game throughout the entire playoffs, and that was Game 5 of against Florida. .878 save percentage and 2.88 goals against average. He played well when he needed to. He went 7-0 for a reason at one point. He finished 7-1. But goaltending was one of the reasons this team was let down. And another reason was depth. And that depth is going to be squeezed out even more as Draisaitl's extension kicks in, which is $14 million. Bouchard needs an extension. McDavid's extension is up next summer, and judging by the cryptic quote he gave yesterday, I believe he's going to resign, but it's definitely a little alarming if I was an Edmonton fan. But yeah, So another year, another Stanley Cup awarded, although it's the same winner. Overall, another good season. Another good season, although a winner that a lot of people did not hope for, which I don't know why. It's a fun Florida team. I know they have Marchand, but I don't know. For some reason, people don't like it because it's a repeat or the state tax, although that has really nothing to do with it whatsoever. It didn't benefit them the first 30 years of their existence, so why does it benefit them just now? And same with Tampa. It only benefited them once in 30 years, yet now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, the Florida teams are winning, so there's got to be a reason. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I shall see you all in the next one. Have a good one.